George, you have 3 picks for today, and Nigel, you have 2. So we'll kick it off with you, George. Firstly, I want you to take me to the beautiful Italy, mate. Atalanta versus Juventus.
Yeah, this is a game that I am actually very much looking forward to. Another one we've just discussed. It's really tight in the top 4 in Serie A. I believe just a point is separating these two. Atalanta can overtake Juve with a win here. Juve need to try and secure their top 4 spot, because I believe it's Napoli, who are just 3 points behind. They're 3 points ahead of 5th, so they can't afford to slip up. So they're going to obviously commit men forward to trying to get the win here. But obviously Atalanta, very, very attacking side. Really good team to watch from a neutral perspective. So the bet I'm looking at is Juventus to see 20 plus booking points. Atalanta to see at least a card, but Atalanta to score as well. So just going through it here, Atalanta have seen at least a card in 26 of their 30 Serie A games this season, and Juve have seen 20 plus in 24 out of their 30 Serie A games. If the referee is Daniele Orsato, and he's ever seen 2 Juventus games so far this season, and he's awarded them at least 20 plus on both occasions. Both teams have seen 20 plus booking points in 10 of Orsato's 12 Serie A games officiated this campaign too. And Atalanta have scored in 26 of their 30 games, only failing against Inter Milan, Spezia, Verona and Genoa. But what interests me as well, the fact that Juventus have conceded in 22 out of their 30 games this season. And for a team that's been so dominant domestically, that's an awful lot of games to be conceding in when you're obviously trying to go for a title charge. And if you're into your kind of head-to-head stats, this exact bet has landed in 4 of the last 5 head-to-heads, and you can get that at 1.8 on Bet365. I wouldn't take any lower. I think that's a good price. But considering the consistency of it, how it's landed, the numbers behind it, I do think that's the exact price I'll probably have it, and I do like that price. I wouldn't say go too much lower. But just with everything behind it, I don't really see how this doesn't happen, just given the state of the game, the state of the two sides, where they're at, what's on the line. I do see bookings in this game, and I do think that Atalanta will get on the score sheet as well against a Juve side that are making a habit of conceding goals.
All right, so let's just rehash that one, mate. Exactly what the pick is.
Yeah, so I'll do it simply. So Juventus to see over 1.5 cards, Atalanta to see just a card in the game, but Atalanta to score as well as a bet builder.
Awesome stuff, mate. Nigel, it is your turn now, mate. You're taking me over to Germany. Borussia Monchengladbach versus Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, I am. I feel sorry for the guy who's in the crowd at Borussia Mönchengladbach who starts to chant, "Give me a B, give me an O." We've been here all day.
How many times has Nigel said that joke? Over or under 200?
It's my favourite. One of my favourite jokes. I like it. So I've got to get it out there.
I'm going to steal it, mate. I like it.
It's a good joke, isn't it? I got that. I
Look how happy he is.
Oh, he's gone. He's so happy that he's just gone.
He's gone. He's just off to text his mum. I've made it.
All right. Well, while he's gone, should we just? Do you want to just give out one of your next ones, mate? We can go to Real Madrid and Getafe.
My next 2, actually, they're basically the same bet for different games. So just double checking. Yeah, Getafe against Real Madrid. This is a really good one. The referee, he's got the top cards per game average in La Liga. That's Jose Maria Sanchez. The bet I'm going for is both teams to see over 1 card. So both teams to see 2 or more cards in the game, but also Real Madrid to score. I'd have this at 1.8 as well, but Bet365 currently have it at 1.95. So there's value there. I wouldn't go any lower than 1.8, or for those of you that deal in fractions, it's currently 20 to 21, but don't go any lower than 4 to 5. So Getafe have seen 20 plus booking points in 28 of their 30 La Liga games this season. And their opponents have seen 20 plus booking points in 28 of those 30 as well. So as we all know, Getafe games see an absolute hatful of cards on a regular basis. Real Madrid don't often see 20 plus booking points. They've still seen it in over half of their games this season, so just not as regularly as Getafe. They've seen 20 plus in 17 of their 30 La Liga games. But between these two, there's only been 7 0-0 draws in their 60 games combined, and I do fancy a couple of goals in this one. And Real Madrid have scored in 27 of their 30 league games this season. They are obviously coming off the back of a Champions League game away to Liverpool, which they managed to see out and qualify with that, with a 0-0 draw at Anfield. And they were under the cosh there somewhat. They had to do a lot of defensive work, but they still had plenty of opportunities to score themselves. And against this Getafe side, I don't see how they keep Real Madrid out for the full 90 minutes. So, and as well as that, the cards aspect of this has landed in 11 of 13 of Jose Maria Sanchez's games officiated in La Liga this season. So just to recap, the bet is both teams to see 2 or more cards and Real Madrid to score at 1.95.
All right, awesome stuff, mate. Nigel is now back. You get a bit excited there, mate.
No, the computer was absolutely pissing itself so much that it went into lockdown with my jokes. My computer froze because it was so humorous. But let's go back to the joke. Now, I feel sorry for the guy at Brush. No, Joe, major. This is an interesting one. I mean, Borussia Mönchengladbach last season were a side that got in the Champions League, and they were touted out as one of the next big things in Germany. They were going to be the side that were going to challenge Leipzig and Bayern Munich at the top of the table, and they were going along really well. And then they announced that their manager Marco Rose would be joining Borussia Dortmund. And ever since they made that announcement, they've absolutely fallen off a cliff with their form. They've only won twice in 10 matches, and I think they've lost 7 of those. I think it might be more. I think they've lost 8 in something like 11 matches since they announced that he was leaving to go to Borussia Dortmund. So it's had a really, really detrimental effect on their league form. They're down in 8th position, so their chance of getting into European football isn't that great. And they play an Eintracht Frankfurt side who are absolutely flying. They've scored 11 goals in their last 3 matches. Their main centre forward, Andre Silva, is on fire, scoring 4 goals. Eintracht Frankfurt for years in the Bundesliga have been probably one of the better sides to watch, most entertaining. Their goal XG this season hasn't been as high as it has been in recent years, so they have probably been overperforming. But the reason why I like this is because Monchengladbach are absolutely decimated by injuries. Their captain, Lars Stindl, is out. It was announced today that he misses the game. Very, very key midfielder. They've also got their goalkeeper, Sommer, who's a proper, he's one of the better goalkeepers in the Bundesliga. He doesn't play. And their midfielder, Christoph Kramer, he misses the game as well. And those 3 players are real big players. The captain, midfield playmaker, and a goalkeeper. And the people, the team, the players coming in are nowhere near as decent players who are replacements for those 3 players missing. So I think Eintracht Frankfurt, who are in the Champions League positions, they are playing exceptionally well, and they've already drawn with they've beaten both Bayern Munich and Dortmund in recent weeks, and they've drawn at Leipzig as well. And I think to take on Borussia Mönchengladbach, who their only 2 wins, Gladbach, in 11 have been against Schalke, who are the worst team by far. They're the Sheffield United of Bundesliga, and Freiburg, who again aren't in any great shapes. And every time they've come up against a decent opposition, they've been beaten. And with the injuries, I've got to back Frankfurt on the Asian handicap off scratch, which is 1.98 with Bet365. I think that's if it's a draw, it's a push, and I think that's a cracking price.
So in other words, you're saying draw no bet.
Yeah, draw no bet.
All right, cool. I'll see if I can find some better odds than what I got. 1.97 on Marathon. I'll see if I can find anything better. Oh wait, is that? Oh no, sorry. I was looking at the Monchengladbach odds. Yeah, you can get 2s at Betfair, at FBet.
What for Eintracht Frankfurt?
Yes.
2.0.
Yeah, for Betfair, but I mean that's not with the commission cooked into it. So.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well,
sorry, you'll have to excuse me. I was just looking because I've got an Eintracht Frankfurt T-shirt somewhere, but it is absolutely massive on me, so I never wear it. So I don't know where it is, but absolutely top team in Germany. Going to dish it out just the way Nigel does with his Tranmere tops, or Oxford, or whichever League 2 team he likes that day.
That's been sent. I've got rid of the tram. One's got on eBay. £8 I got for it. Gone.
You have overcharged someone.
£8. That's gone. Oxford's going on. If Oxford don't win at the weekend, that's going on as well.
So Nigel, 1.95 was the price there for Frankfurt, you said?
Yeah, I've bet them on the Asian handicap off the North Start of 1.98. But if you take draw, no bet as well. Don't put you off that. But I think Eintracht Frankfurt is definitely the way to get with.
Oh, you said 1.98.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. Well, you might only be able to get that price on the exchanges. It looks like it is gone in a lot of places. So, try and find that one out there, folks. George, mate, we'll go to you next with your last game that you wanted to preview today, Torino versus Roma.
Yeah, so another one in Serie A. Roma fighting out for a European spot. They're a point. Obviously, this is at the time of obviously discussing it, but they're currently a point behind Lazio, but they've played a game more. So similar to Juventus, really, in terms of their situation. They can't afford to slip up here either. Torino are much nearer the foot of the table. They're currently safe by 5 points going into this one. They've got a game in hand too, but they'll still want to, continue to distance themselves from that relegation battle. I just think this is a much bigger game for Roma. But just kind of going into it, I said to you before, obviously, a couple of these bets are following a similar format. So my best bet is for both teams to see, again, over a 1 card, but Roma to score in this one. You can get that at 2.15 on 365. That's the best price I found currently. The problem with these markets is obviously they can get released on other bookies, but nearer to the time. But I don't see many places offering a better price than that. Torino have seen 20 plus booking points in 21 of their 29 league games this season. And their opponents have seen 20 plus booking points in 25 out of those 29. Because Torino are the most fouled side on average per game in the whole of Serie A. And Roma have seen 20 plus booking points in 24 of their 30 league games. And again, similar to when I discussed obviously Getafe and Madrid, there's only been 5 0-0 draws in their 59 Serie A games combined. Both of these teams, they tend to see goals in their games. Roma have scored in 22 of their 30 league games. The 4 of those which they failed to were against Juventus, Napoli twice, and Lazio. So, very good sides there. As Torino obviously aren't of that calibre. So I don't see how Roma don't get on the score sheet here, especially when you consider that Torino have conceded in 23 of their 29 Serie A games this season. The referee is Luca Massimi. He's got obviously a very good card average as well, and it's actually landed in both of the matches that he's officiated this season with ease. So he has only officiated 2 games, but I think he's awarded something around 11 cards in those games. He's got a very, very high average, even if you look at his lifetime statistics. But yes, as I said, this bet landed in both of those matches. So I think with what's on the line, particularly for Roma, I think, and the fact that Torino, they're going to be pressing Torino to try and force them into mistakes, is that Roma needs to score. They need to win this game. Simple as that. So like I said, Torino are the most fouled side in the league, but they've got their own kind of ambitions too. So I really like this one, particularly at that price for both teams to see over 1 card and Roma to score at 2.15.
All right. Terrific stuff, mate. Nigel, you are next on the block. You're taking me to League One. How dare you, mate?
There's quite a few. Well, listen, you don't like it, but the viewers, they love the lower league action. Like I said to you before, it doesn't matter where you get.
It has grown on me, mate. I've got a few futures bets in the lower leagues, and I actually have been tracking all of the scores. And Charlton are actually one of the teams I have to get promoted. So I'm very, very interested to see what you have here.
Well, you got a good chance because Charlton have they've got 7 games remaining in the running and 5 of them at home. So that's a big advantage for them. Out of the 7 games,
don't cash out then. That's what you're saying.
No, I won't cash out. Well, Lincoln are struggling. So Lincoln are in and out. Portsmouth they never handle the pressure well. Oxford are a danger for you, but Oxford and Charlton are the 2 sides really peaking well to get into that playoffs. Obviously, the top 3 are so far away, but that group is getting really, really congested now. And I think there's only 2 teams possibly who could gate crash them. One of them is Charlton, the other one is Oxford. It's very close between Charlton and Oxford, which game I wanted to talk about. I've bet them both, but I think Charlton slightly edge it as the best one here. They're both on paper would appear to be a crucial playoff position. But Charlton, it's quite deceptive really because Paul Cook, the manager's gone in, and his job briefing is to clear the squad out for next year. I know that for definite. Don't worry about this season. Get rid of a lot of the dead wood and build us for next season. And that is the what he's been told to do. And Ipswich don't really want to be in the playoffs this year. I know it sounds crazy, but the fans want it. But it's probably a little bit too early for them. They're not good enough, and they'll get found out. But next season is when they're going to be judged. And it wants to bring in his own players, but have told him just get through to this season. And I think for that reason, if you look at their form in recent weeks, they've massively dipped. Their last 3 matches, they haven't scored a goal. They didn't have a shot in target in the 2 matches. They had 1 shot on target against Wimbledon. They got beat 3-0 at Wimbledon. Prior to that, they played in 2 0-0 draws. They didn't have 1 shot on target in that game, in either of those games. They got against Wimbledon. They lost Josh Harrop, their midfielder. He got sent off early. I think about 28th, half an hour, something like that, Marks. And he's suspended for this game, which is a big blow. And they just do not score goals. Whereas Charlton, on the other hand, are coming into it on the back of their best form. The start of the season, Charlton had ownership problems, and everyone was talking about them getting relegated this season and not being able to stay in League One. Lee Bowyer threatened to leave. He threatened to go. Well, he finally left. They've got a Danish manager, a Danish owner now, going to put a lot of money into the club next season. And they're a side to watch. If they don't go up this season, next season, they're definitely one to already keep an eye on because they're going to have money behind them. And they've got a good manager in Nigel Atkins, former Southampton manager. They're unbeaten under Nigel Atkins. And like I say, they come in here on the back of the best form of the season. They're unbeaten in their last 3 matches, which was unbeaten in 8, I think. But their last 3 matches have all been away from home, and they've won them all. And their last game was a 2-1 win at Sunderland, which was a fantastic performance. And they really are producing some high XG. They score goals. I think they've scored at least 2 goals in something like 8 of their last 10 games. And they're playing an Ipswich side that I think already are looking at next season. And I can see the manager, Paul Cook, clearing the whole squad out and building again next season and getting the players in he wants. And that's the objective. So I think however the league table may appear, I think that there's only going to be one team really, really pumped for this one, and that's Charlton. And I think Charlton will get the win. And they could, without running 5 home games from 7, they could squeak through to the playoffs. Just squeak in. But I think 21-20, which is 2.15 with William Hill on Charlton, is a big, big price. I've bet it. I'm amazed it's still there. I would be absolutely staggered if they're not around even money come kick-off time, Charlton.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of bookies actually that have got them at 2.15. You've got Ned's here in Australia, Marathon, FBet, Cashpoint, Coral, Ladbrokes, and William Hill.
Well, that's £7 each we can get on with them lot. That's 28 quid.
So there you go. That's good to see. Price is still there. So hopefully by the time this comes out, people will be able to get on. Terrific stuff, fellas. Why don't we just summarise it all up with our best bets of the weekend? I'll go to you first, George. Out of your 3 games you've looked at today, mate, what is your favourite?
My favourite is I'm going to go with the bigger price one. Actually, I think with Roma fighting out for that European spot, it's a must. They've got to get Europe. And the fact that they're a point behind Lazio, having played a game more, I think the impetus is going to be with them. Torino, they're probably safe. But nevertheless, they're going to obviously still going to be up for this one to try and distance themselves further. So with the referee in place as well, I really like the Torino versus Roma bet of both teams to see 2+ cards and Roma to score at 2.15.
All right, Nigel?
Yeah, just 2 from me this week. So we can't have a Meatloaf song, unfortunately. 2 out of 3, we can't do it. So I have to think of another walk-on music for next Thursday. But I'm going to go for... my best bet is Charlton to beat Ipswich at 21-20, which is 2.15 at the weekend. And the other bet I recommend, which is they're very close really, but I'm going to go with George's tactic to go with a bigger price. But I think that to get Eintracht Frankfurt at around near close in even money off scratch on the Asian handicap against Borussia Monchengladbach, who are decimated by injuries to key players, is a decent bet in Germany as well. So they're my 2 best bets this weekend.